Welcome to the Warframe Weapon Encyclopedia, where today we're checking out the Cerata. You can get the blueprint for the Cerata from the Infested or Biolab in your dojo, and it's definitely on the more expensive side of things because you will need mutagen mass, 2,500 cryotic, as well as a fully built forma. The Cerata is a Mastery Rank 7 glaive that does primarily toxin damage, with the next highest damage type being slash, then puncture, and finally impact being the last. And it's decently fast with OK crit and high status. Now, since this is a glaive, it works a little bit differently. You can just use regular combos, like with other melee weapons, or you can hold the attack button down, which will throw the glaive instead. This will do more damage than a simple light attack, and it will bounce from enemy to enemy up to 3 times before finally returning back to you. It can also be dual-wielded with a one-handed secondary weapon, and finally the heavy attacks work very differently here. You can't just straight up do a heavy attack with it like with other melee weapons. You need to throw the glaive first by holding the attack button, and then when you press the heavy attack button, the glaive will detonate, do a ton of damage in a pretty sizable area with a guaranteed toxin proc, and it will also return back to you. Do be a little bit careful with the heavy attack explosion though, because it does inflict self-stagger. And that's still not all, because we have a ton of mods that are specific to thrown melee weapons. And those are Combo Fury, where on melee kill you get extra reload speed and magazine size for 12 seconds. On your secondary weapon, this works really well with the whole dual wielding shenanigans. Then there is Power Throw, which will give you some punch through, but it will also stack throw damage. With each consecutive throw, it gives you 100% extra throw damage, and it stacks up to 3 times. Whirlwind, which is kind of like the least important one, which just gives you some flight speed on the glaive. And then there are the two big ones, which are Volatile Quick Return, which essentially makes the glaive not bounce, but increases the blast radius by 100%, and it makes the glaive explode every time it does bounce, so, when it hits something. And Volatile Rebound, which just makes it explode whenever it bounces, and it disables punch through. You have to be careful with the explosive ones though, because the explosions, just like the heavy attack, will inflict self-stagger. Now, out of all of these, I personally prefer Volatile Rebound, which is the one that makes it explode every time it bounces. But it is very much a personal preference, so if you would rather use Volatile Quick Return, or you just want to build it for light attacks, go for that instead. I like this one because it has a nice bit of AoE with the throw and the explosions, but when it comes down to it and you need to do some single target damage, you can just do a few light attacks, and the combination of Viral and Slash will take the enemies down pretty quickly. So is the Cerata worth getting? Well, probably not, unfortunately, because there are other glaives like the Orpheus, which are much cheaper as far as resources go, and you can get them sooner, and they're gonna give you either the same or arguably even better performance. It is still a really good melee weapon though, and on its own I would recommend it. So if you like the look of it, go ahead and pick it up, no one's gonna stop you. And that's pretty much it for the video, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you some other time. Bye bye.